I killed the engine and just sat there. MY hands were still on the handlebars. The house was supposed to be empty, abandoned, rotting, forgotten, but the lights were on, and through the cracked mountain fog, I saw a woman standing on my porch, screaming at my door like it was hers. That's when I realized someone had moved into my house. Not squatters, not drifted a family, and the woman leading them, she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You don't belong here. This is our home now." Thumbs up before the story goes any further. Like this video, subscribe to Bikershype, and share it with your friends. If you love Hell's Angels, prove it. Let's hit 1,000 subscribers together. Now listen carefully, because this gets dark. A house in 01W. They told me the place was cursed. That's what the realtor said, quietly, like she didn't want a mountain to hear. "People don't stay up there," she said. "Bad things follow the ones who try." I laughed. I've ridden through gunfire. I buried brothers. I've stared death down on desert highways. At 120 mph, a house didn't scare me. The place sat high in the mountains, pine trees like guards, fog rolling in like breath from something alive. 3 floors, stone foundation, broken windows, snow-stained roof, and no neighbors for miles. Perfect. I bought it cash. No questions. No inspection. I wanted silence. I wanted distance. I wanted to disappear. Why I left, he didn't buy that house to live in it right away. I bought it because I was running, not from the law. From memory point 6 months earlier, I buried my brother, my road brother, not blood. He died on a highway in Nevada, hit by a drunk who walked away that I didn't. Something inside me cracked that day, so I locked the doors of the mountain house, boarded the windows, and rode south. Needed time. Needed miles. I told myself I'd come back when the noise in my head shut up. I was wrong. That coming winter had bitten hard by the time I returned. Snow lined the road. Pines creaked in the wind. The mountain felt heavier, like it remembered me. Then I saw the tire tracks of fresh MY got tightened, and no one was supposed to be here. Then the lights, then the smoke in the chimney. That's when I parked, stepped off my bike, and heard shouting that he came out first, mid-40s. Perfect jacket. Perfect hair, even in the cold. Phone already in her hand. Behind her, a man. 2 teenage kids. Boxes stacked on my porch. She didn't ask who I was. She told me who she was. "I don't know what kind of biker scam this is," she snapped, "but we've been living here for weeks." I looked past her. MY furniture was inside. That MY generator was running. MY locks were broken. I said one sentence. "This is my house." She laughed, that laugh. Cold, sharp, entitled. "You can't just show up and claim property," she said. "My husband found this place online. Abandoned. No owner." I took off my helmet. That's when her smile faded. When fear enters the heart, he saw the scars first, then the ink, then the cut on my eyebrow that never healed right. Her husband stepped back. The kids went quiet. I didn't raise my voice, didn't threaten, didn't need to. I bought this house, I said calmly. I left. You broke in. Karen crossed her arms. "Well," she said, "call the police." So I did. The law takes her. Suddenly the sheriff showed up an hour later. Local guy. Knew the mountain. He looked at my bike. Then my cut. Then Karen's crime performance. She told him they were homeless. That they had nowhere to go. That I was intimidating them. The sheriff sighed. "Civil matter," he said. And just like that, they stayed. Sleeping outside your own house. See, I slept in my shed that night. MY own damn shed. Listening to my fireplace crackle through the walls while strangers laughed inside. Something broke in me that night. Not rage. Resolved to mistake Karen had here and thought she'd won. That's what people like her always think. She didn't know 2 things. I don't scare easy. I don't stand alone. I made one call. Then another. Then I waited mid-story reminder fire if the story has you hooked right now. Subscribe to Bikershype, like the video, and share it with your friends. If you love Hell's Angels, prove your love. We're chasing 1,000 subscribers. And this story isn't stopping. That engines and the sound came at dawn. Low. Heavy. Growing. Karen stepped onto the porch with her coffee and froze. Motorcycles lined the road, point 1 by 1 dot black. Chrome. Thunder. The mountain woke up, and it remembered who it belonged to. Thunder on the already. Karen didn't move. Her coffee went cold in her hand as the sound rolled up the mountain like an approaching storm. Not loud at first, just a vibration in the air, a pressure behind the ears. Then the fog parted, and the road filled with chrome and black, steel point one bike. Then 3, then 10, then more. They parked without revving, without show. Just engines idling, deep, patient, dangerous. I stepped out of the shed and walked past her without a word. She finally found her voice. What is this? I looked at the line of bikes stretching down the curve of the mountain road. Company. Her husband came to the door, eyes wide, trying to count. He couldn't. People never can. You stop counting when you realize numbers don't matter anymore. The kids stayed inside. Smart kids. Rules of the Emily, we don't yell. We don't threaten. We don't explain more than once. The brothers dismounted slowly, helmets under arms, boots crunching in the snow. Not a single patch visible, mountain etiquette. This wasn't about flexing. This was about respect. I raised a hand. They stopped, ducked Karen's husband, tried to smile. Look, there's been a misunderstanding. I cut him off gently. You broke into my house. Karen stepped forward, shaking. You left it. It was abandoned. I pointed at the boarded windows. Abandoned houses rot. They don't get boarded. Silence swallowed her at the sheriff audience. The sheriff came back faster this time. Lights off. Siren quiet. He stepped out, took one look at the road, and sighed like a man who wished he'd stayed home. Morning. I said. He nodded. Morning. Karen rushed him. You said we could stay. You said it was a civil matter. He didn't look at her. Sir, he said to me, voice low, I need to see proof of ownership. I handed him the folder. He read every page. Twice, his shoulders dropped. Ma'am, he said finally, turning to Karen, this property is legally owned. You need to vacate. Her face twisted. You're choosing him? He met her eyes. I'm choosing the law. When entitlements are to kiss, Karen screamed. She screamed about unfairness, about kids, about winter, about how the world always protects men like me. She didn't scream about breaking locks. She didn't scream about stealing power. Funny how that works. The kids came out then, eyes red. The boy held a backpack like it was armor. The girls stared at the bikes like they were monsters. I knelt. Not to intimidate, till be seen. You hungry? I asked them. They nodded. I stood and faced Karen. Pack your things. She looked around, searching for sympathy. The mountain didn't give her any. That mid-story reminder fire the story has you right now. Subscribe to Bikershype, like the video, and share it with your friends. If you love Hell's Angels, prove it. Help us hit 1,000 subscribers. Now back to the mountain. The secret in the beginning, they packed in silence. Boxes scraped floors. Drawers slammed. The house felt angry, like it hated being used. As they moved the last box, the floor groaned. The girl stopped. Dad, what's that door? Basement. I'd never gone down there. The lock was new. Karen froze. I looked at the sheriff. Mind if I check my own basement? He nodded. I opened the door. The smell hit first. Damp, old, wrong. Down the steps we went, light cutting through dust, and there was at a wall that hadn't been there before. Fresh boards. Fresh nails. Karen screamed. Don't touch that. Too late. What they HID behind the board were boxes. Stolen boxes. Tools. Electronics. Firearms. Not mine. Not theirs either. The sheriff swore under his breath. Karen collapsed. Her husband whispered, I told you not to. That was enough. Handcuffs clicked. The kids cried. I stepped between them in the scene. Go outside. I told the kids gently. Cole's better than this. They listened out there. The sheriff pulled me aside. You want to press charges? I looked at the house. The mountain. The kids huddled by the bikes. Shaking, I thought of my brother. Charge the adults, I said. Help the kids. He nodded. Done. Karen looked at me like I betrayed her. Funny thing is, she never saw the mercy there that night. After the cruisers left, we lit fire outside, NO celebration. No jokes. Just heat and quiet. The mountain exhaled. Point when the brothers spoke softly. You staying now? I nodded. Yeah. He smiled. Good. The house talks back. He slept inside for the first time. The house creaked, settled, breathed. 83 a.m. I woke to sound. Footsteps. Not outside. Inside it, I reached for my knife. Then I heard it, a whisper, not human, and the mountain answered back. If you love Hell's Angels, share this video right now. Subscribe to Bikershype, like the video, and help us complete the 1,000 subscriber target. Backhand index pointing right. Now prove your love. The whisper at 3:17 a.m. The whisper wasn't loud. IT didn't need to be. IT slid across the room like cold breath on skin. I sat up slow, heart steady, eyes already adjusting to the dark. Years on the road teach you that panic is a luxury. The house creaked again, old bones shifting. Wind pressed against the windows like a question. Then I heard it at a footstep. Not above me, below. From the basement, I swung my legs over bed, boots already where I left them, knife in my hand. No lights. I don't give fear a target. AT the top of the basement stairs. The air changed. Heavier, damp, like rain-soaked earth sealed underground too long. The whisper came again. Not words, a sound like someone trying to remember how to speak. The name on the W of the basement door was open. I hadn't left it that way. The light from my phone slid across concrete and stopped at the wall we'd opened earlier. The board were gone. Clean break. Too clean. Behind them, writing, carved deep into stone, names, dozens of them. Old, new. Some scratch so hard the stone had cracked. And one name, circled again and again, deeper than the rest, and why brother's name. I didn't move, didn't breathe. The mountain had waited for me to come back. Memory bleeds through stony. I remembered something then. The realtor's eyes. The way she whispered bad things follow the ones who try. This house was abandoned. IT was avoided. The whisper grew louder, like wind through a broken tunnel. Leave, it said. Not a threat, a warning. Dawn brings, and the morning didn't fix anything. Fog clung to trees like fingers refusing to let go. The brothers were still there. Some sleeping on bikes, some on logs, none asking questions. They saw my face. They knew point one of them spoke quietly. You good? I shook my head. Not yet. We ate in silence. Coffee tasted like ash. That's when the old man came up the road. The man who never he walked with a limp and carried a stick carved with symbols I didn't recognize. Beard white as frost. Eyes sharp as broken glass. I wondered when you'd hear it. He said. I didn't ask how he knew. Who are you? I asked. Caretaker, he replied. Or what's left of one. He looked at the house like it was an old enemy. They don't like strangers, he said. Who doesn't? I asked. The mountain. He answered that mid-story reminder fire. If you're still here, you already feel it. Subscribe to Bikershype, like the video, and share it with your friends. If you love Hell's Angels, prove it. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Now listen carefully. The truth about the caretaker told me the story by the fire. Decades ago, men came here to hide. Not criminals. Not saints. People running from grief, guilt, war. The mountain listened, and it took payment. Every soul that sleeps here leaves something behind, the old man said. Sometimes memories, sometimes blood. I asked him about the names. He looked at me hard. The house writes what the mountain once remembered. Why my brother's name was there, I didn't want to ask. That I did anyway. The caretaker stirred the fire. Your brother passed through. Years ago. Hurt. Lost. He stayed one night. My chest tightened. He left, the man continued. But the mountain doesn't measure time like we do. I stood up so fast the chair fell. You're saying this place followed him? The old man met my eyes. No, I'm saying it waited for you. The mountain is that night. The wind howled like engines at full throttle. The house shook. Walls whispered names. The brothers stood guard without being asked at midnight. The basement door slammed open. Something came up the stairs. Not fast, not slow. Certain face-to-face, I stood at the top of the stairs, knife useless, heart loud. The air thickened, the shape formed. Not flesh, not shadow, memory. Grief given edges. IT wore my brother's face. Not as he was when he died. As he was when he laughed. Go. It said softly that I shook my head. Not without you. The thing smiled. You can't take back what the mountain keeps. The deal the caretaker's words echoed. The mountain takes payment. I understood then. I stepped forward. Take me instead. The house went silent. The mountain listened. The wind stopped. The fire outside died down. Then the whisper came one last time. No, it said, and the shape faded. The name on the wall cracked. M.Y. Brothers' name disappeared. The house exhaled the morning of the sunrise felt earned. The caretaker was gone, and no footprints, and no stick. Just fresh earth where he'd stood. The brothers packed up point. One of them clapped my shoulder. You staying? I nodded. Yeah, someone has to. He smiled. Figures. Red Heart, ending CTA. Now prove your LV if you love Hell's Angels. Share this video right now. Subscribe to Bikershype, like the video, and help us complete the 1,000 subscriber target. Backhand index pointing right. Now prove your love. The first messenger had started 3 days after the whisper stopped. That's how these things work. Never immediately. The mountain waits until you believe it's over. I was splintered behind the house when I heard tires on gravel. Not bikes. A car. Old. Engine coughing like it hated to climb. A woman stepped out. Late 30s. Thin jacket. Eyes hollowed by sleepless nights. She didn't introduce herself. She just said, "Is this the place where the noise stops?" I knew then. The mountain had begun sending people. The unwritten rule I didn't invite her and didn't tell her to leave either. There's a rule you learn on the road, and in places like this. If someone finds you without directions, something brought them. She stood there shivering. My son died last winter, she said suddenly. Car accident. I can't sleep. I can't breathe. Someone at a gas station told me about this house. I felt cold behind my eyes. The mountain was feeding again. The line I drew. You can stay one night. I told her. No basement. No digging. No questions. She nodded like a drowning person handed a rope. That night I locked the basement door and slept with my boots on the mid-story reminder fire if the story has you gripping your seat. Subscribe to Bikershype, like the video, and share with your friends that if you love Hell's Angels, prove it. Help us hit 1,000 subscribers. Now listen, because this is where it turns. The house architect the house didn't like her. Walls groaned. Pipes screamed. Floorboards popped like knuckles cracking at 2:11 a.m. She screamed. I was at her door in seconds. She was sitting up, shaking, tears streaming. He was here, she whispered. My son. He told me to follow him downstairs. I didn't answer. I just tightened the lock on the basement door. The second escalator the next morning, another car arrived. Then another, the man with war in his eyes. A couple who had buried a baby. A kid barely 20 carrying more grief than years. They didn't come together. They came called. The mountain had found its voice again. Why I couldn't turn them AWI I wanted to. God knows I wanted to. But I remember myself, after Nevada, after the funeral, after the noise wouldn't stop. This house didn't heal people. IT held them. And sometimes, holding is enough to survive the night. On the 7th night, I woke to the sound I'd sworn I'd never hear again. The basement door opened and I ran. Too late. The stranger stood at the stairs, faces slack, eyes empty, moving as one, downward. Following voices, only they could hear that I shouted. I grabbed. I dragged 2.3, made it down. The door slammed. The mountain roared. What came back, UP? Silence. Then footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Something climbed the stairs. IT wasn't the strangers. IT with their faces like masks. Voices overlapped. Children, lovers are dead. Let us stay, it said. The house shook. I stepped forward. No, I said. You don't get them. The thing tilted its head. Then you owe us. The payment didn't need a mountain, doesn't want blood. IT wants anchors, people who stay so others can leave. I understood then what the caretaker had been, what I was becoming. I'll stay, I said. But they go. The house went still. Then the door burst open. The strangers collapsed on the floor, alive, sobbing, free. The thing faded. The mountain sealed itself again. The housekeeper be mourning. The strangers were gone, and oh goodbyes, and oh tracks. Just quiet. I boarded the basement door with steel this time. Not to lock ITO market, a warning. The weight of LNG weeks pass, and oh whispers, and oh footsteps. But I felt it, the pull. The mountain doesn't shout forever. IT waits. And it knows I'm not leaving. The final truth he didn't buy an abandoned mountain house, that I inherited a responsibility, that a place where grief comes to rest, and someone has to stand watch. That someone is me, Red Heart, ending CTA. Now prove your love if you love Hell's Angels. Share this video right now. Subscribe to Bikershype, like the video, and help us complete the 1,000 subscriber target. Backhand index pointing right. Now prove your love. The warning eye jar of the mountain tried to warn me. Not with whispers, with silence and no wind. No creaks. No animals. Even the birds stayed away. That's when you know something is wrong. That I stood on the porch at dusk, watching fog roll upward instead of down. Like the mountain was breathing and I should have left. But anchors don't run to return to, and headlights cut through the fog. A familiar car. Same dented bumper. Same bad attitude, driving it straight into a place that didn't want her. Karen stepped out, alone and no husband. No kids. Just rage and entitlement wrapped in a coat too thin for cold. You ruined my life, she shouted. Because of you, I lost everything. The mountain listened. Bad idea at the she didn't ask to come in. She demanded it. I know what this place does, she said, eyes wild. I felt it when we lived here. It shows you what you deserve. I shook my head. You need to leave. Now. She smiled. I'm not here for shelter, she said. I'm here to take. The fog thickened. The house woke up. That mid-story reminder fire. If you stayed this far, you're one of us. Subscribe to Bikershype, like the video, and share with your friends. If you love Hell's Angels, prove it. Help us complete the 1,000 subscriber target. Now watch how this ends. The mountain chooses W. The door slams shut behind her. Locks turn on their own. The basement door shook like something laughing underneath. Karen stepped toward it. I knew it, she whispered. I knew I was meant for more. That's the thing about the mountain. IT doesn't punish the guilty. IT tests the greedy. When entitlement meets test, the voices came for her. Not soft, not gentle. Accusations. Screams. Children crying. She covered her ears. No, she shouted. Show me what I deserve. The basement door burst open. Light poured out, cold, blinding. The mountain showed her every lie, every theft. Every moment she stepped on someone weaker and called it survival. She felt her knees. This isn't fair, she screamed. Nothing in the mountain ever is. NY found a thing rose in the stairs, bigger than before, wearing dozens of faces. Choose, it said. Her or your watch ends tonight. I understood if she stayed. The mountain would quiet if I saved her. It would take payment from me instead. I thought of the strangers. The kids NY brothered. I stepped forward. She leaves. I said. I stay. The house screamed. A pain hit like a crash at full speed. Memories ripped through me. Every loss. Every road funeral. Every goodbye I never said. The mountain took what it wanted. Not my life, the NY ability to leave. Karen was thrown onto the porch, unconscious. The door sealed. Forever to morning without seeing she was gone by sunrise, and OCR and footprints. Just silence. The mountain slept, and I knew I would never ride away from this place again at the house with the light in years past. Bikers came through sometimes. Broken ones, I gave them coffee to a place to breathe. Point one night only. Always one night. The mountain stayed. Quiet. Because I stayed awake, the LED they tell stories about this house. Now a light in the mountains. A biker who never leaves. A place where grief doesn't follow you past on. They say if you see the porch light on, you're not alone. That the final truthy didn't lose my freedom, that I traded it. For silence. For balance. For a mountain that needed a guardian. And I was already tired of running. If you love Hell's Angels, share this video right now. Subscribe to Bikershype, like the video, and help us complete the 1,000 subscriber target. Fire now, prove your love. Comment your name. Future stories may carry it. Ride safe. The mountain is watching. Motorcycle.